All right. I'm wondering if anybody, oh, I have more than I expected. I thought some people weren't going to make it today. So we have 3, 6, 8. Good, good. Let's see if I
Well,
have everybody.
Carol?
1, 2, 3. Yep.
Carol, I need to leave about 10 minutes before the class is over. So just,
Okay, fine.
I'm just
Yeah,
gonna leave there, okay?
And I have
Okay.
workmen coming at 2, hopefully, so.
Right,
may
I
have
know,
to-
I remembered a couple of people. So we're going to get through the important stuff. Okay, first of all, I sent you a mystery quiz, a mystery decipher. Did anybody, some people came close. Did anybody else
Well,
want
we-
to try my
And half of
phonetic
it.
thing? Helene, you want to try it?
Yeah, well, I just have to say that was done, on Tuesday, I've been having a practice class, and I've done it for myself, because don't want to, I figure a week is too long, 2 weeks was definitely too long, so we did this as a group. So it was, dear students, it has been so much fun teaching you. I feel like a proud mama bear. Your proficiency is amazing. Affectionately, Carol.
Bravo.
But that was a group effort. We didn't just do that individually. We
Yeah,
did this as a group.
because when I looked at it again, it looked like some of the letters, the ends of the letters didn't attach. When I looked at it, when I first sent it out, it looked like it was fine, but doing it in Hebrew and English is tricky. Okay, so did you also go through the matching,
We did.
the
Yeah.
matching quiz? Anybody, Robin's shaking her head. Rabbi
Yes.
Laufer?
Yes, we did.
I guess we all did it, and then we all checked our answers at our practice meeting.
Okay, do you want to read them and I'll check you back?
Okay. Wait, let's see. The first one is Lahadlik, and that was to kindle.
Mm-hmm,
That was D.
correct,
The next one, Gadol, big, that's G.
correct,
Kala, that was the bride, P.
good. Not to be
Pharaoh.
confused with Kala.
Right. Pharaoh was B, Pharaoh.
Yep,
Geffen was Q, vine.
right, the
Uh,
fruit of the vine.
Free was L, fruits of.
Mm-hmm. Because
And then-
perot are fruits, but pre, it's called a smichut in Hebrew, the construct, where the ending shows possessive, so it's fruits of, to be specific. Okay,
Ahava was with love, A.
good.
Lechem was S, bread.
Mm-hmm.
L'chaim, to life, H.
Good.
Kavod.
Kavod, that was E, respect.
You know what the expression kol hakavod means? Kol hakavod. Did you ever hear that? If you do something really well, then someone who speaks Hebrew will say to you, kol hakavod. You read something, a Torah reading, you wrote
Kol ha?
a drash. Kol hakavod, all the honor. Kol hakavod.
And
Yeah.
Carol, is that the same as in Yiddish? You would say kuvud, you had a kuvud,
Yeah,
think.
an honor.
an honor, kuvud,
Mhm,
yeah.
mhm.
Okay,
Good.
so I guess Yisrael was R,
Yeah,
Israel. Zachor was I, remember.
correct.
The next one, mezuzah was T, mezuzah.
Mhm.
This was chazan, which was cantor, M.
Right.
And
In the Hebrew, the right way to say it would be chazan.
Chazan. Mishpatim, that was C, laws.
Right, there's one whole Torah portion called Mishpatim, a lot of laws in Leviticus. Good.
Ukshartam was, we think was F, and tie them.
Right. Ukshartam laot, tie them as a sign, and that refers to what Jewish item? Tying what?
The
Tefillin.
Sitzi Torah. Oh, the Torah.
Yeah, it's villain.
Tefillin.
Tefillin.
Tefillin. Tie them on your arm. Mhm. If you're a lefty, you put it on the right side, and a righty, put it on the left side, the opposite side. Okay?
Tav Tom, we thought was and write them.
Very good, because the root is kotev, which means write, lichtov, to write, kativa, which means handwriting. Good.
Okay, this one was Vishanan Tom, we thought was and repeat them.
Very good.
And the next one, this is Hanukkah, which was N, Hanukkah.
Great.
And then the last one was Eid Gadol, Eid Kadash, magnified and sanctified, J.
And those words come from where, Robin?
The Kaddish.
Correct. And don't confuse Kiddush with Kaddish. Kiddush is you're drinking wine. Kaddish is you say at a funeral or somebody's your side. Wow. A+ all around. Very impressive, ladies. Good job. Okay. So what I prepared for today is to make sure we get through the letters. So you'll oblige me. We're skipping a lot of the practice things and get right to the letters. There's about 3 more letters and you've done it. Actually have done it. So, however, the first thing I want to take a look is page 49, which is a Shema and V'ahavta. There are 3 paragraphs of the Shema. The first one is called V'ahavta. In Hebrew school, we sing it or recite it. There's 2 different ways. So does anyone know this by heart? Because in the earlier grades, they go, V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha b'chol me'odecha. Does that sound familiar? No. Okay. So,
Yeah,
so the other way,
I mean,
okay, the
I
other
know
way is
we
when
do
they,
it a different tune to it.
Yeah.
for-
Okay,
it's
yeah,
familiar.
I'll give you the other one. That's when you teach the kids, because it's got a nice, like, little lilting melody. The other way, a little more serious, is with the Torah trope. You probably have heard this, and it goes like this. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha
Yeah.
v'chol levavecha v'chol nafshecha v'chol me'odecha v'hayu advarim ha'eleh asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'beitecha uvlechtecha v'derech uv'shalchecha uv'kumecha uv'shartam le'od al yadecha v'hayu l'totzafot b'einecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha. You heard that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, you heard that. Okay. So that's chanting with Torah trope. That's Torah trope. So if you go to synagogue and you're there during the Torah service, that's when I read Torah, that is the Torah trope. That's what they teach the bar and bat mitzvah kids to read. And going back to the first line, Shema Yisrael, when they do that, they go Shema Yisrael, and you close your eyes. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. And custom is that you emphasize the dalet on Echad. Adonai Echad. That's the custom. And the reason is the word Echad means what?
1.
1. So the dalet, some of you may have gotten confused with what other letter. What letter is round?
Resh.
Resh. Now, if you look at it, and if you're looking at it in on the scroll, it's easy to confuse Echad with Acher. Now, the thing is, the word acher means another. So it would say, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is another. There's another God. And to make sure that the person is saying, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one, the custom is to say echad, and to really stress the dalet. So if you've heard it, that's the reason. So they don't say acher is somebody else, is another one. Okay, and then custom is also the second line in the tiny print, right after saying the Shema is Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed, is done in a whisper. Does anyone know when we say that line out loud? There is at one time during the year when the whole congregation, the whole kahal says that line out loud. Anybody know?
It's Yom
Darlene?
Kippur. That's
I
Yom
think it's
Kippur.
the end of
Correct.
Yom Kippur.
No, it is Yom Kippur, yes.
On Yom Kippur, well, at the end, it's possible that it's at the end too, but that is said out loud on Yom Kippur. I don't know if it's only, I don't remember if it's only one time, but definitely at the end, everybody says Baruch Shem Kavod. And actually, you say it 7 times at
Mhm.
the end. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchut Le'olam Va'ed. It's the cantor. So I'm counting, my down there to make sure I'm saying it the right number of times. Say it 7 times, just to make sure that we got the message across, which is, blessed is the holy name of God, and his kingdom forever and ever. So we say that 7 times out loud. Otherwise, on a regular Shabbat, regular service, you would just whisper it, say it silently. But all the stops are pulled out on Yom Kippur. Okay, so there's just some interesting things about that. All right, and I pulled a few of those words from the Shema. Okay, ukashartam. So, and tie them. Where is ukashartam la'od? Od is a sign or a symbol. Tie them, the tefillin, as a sign al yadecha, on your hand, on the biceps. V'hayula totafot beinenecha, and they should be as frontlets between your eyes. So you have a strap and a box here. The other box is on your biceps. Uchtavtam, and write them, these words, the Shema and the V'ahavta, al mezuzot, on the mezuzahs on your house and on your gate. So if you ever looked at the scroll that's inside the parchment, inside the mezuzah, it has Shema and V'ahavta. And they're telling you that these important words are in the tefillin and in the mezuzah. So
Oh, Carol,
very important. Yeah.
what was letatafot means?
The totafot is the actual translation, if you looked in a Hebrew English dictionary, would be frontlets. We call them phylacteries or tefillin. And it's the box that you put on your head.
Mhm.
Next semester, I'm going to show you how to put on tefillin. Has anyone ever done that? Put on tefillin? Well, I'll show you how to do it. So there's 3 blessings that you put on. The first one is when you put it on your, you wind it on your arm. And the second one, when you put the head one on, the frontlets between your eyes, there. The third one, when you take the rest of the strap and you make it comes out to be the way you wind it around your middle finger and your hand, it's the Shin Dalet Yud. And it spells out Shaddai, which is another name for God. So it's on your hand, and it's on where your strength is, and it's on your brain where your mind is, your thinking. There's a lot of symbolism. It's very exciting that now conservative women can do that. And as I said last week, I was teaching the 7th grade, and the boys and girls who are all going to be born bat mitzvah, and I had to teach them how to put on tefillin. So I put the tefillin on, and I showed them step by step, and we would practice, until they got it right. and we had the girls, I said, you know, girls are allowed in an egalitarian shul. If your families don't want you to, no one will push you. I said, that's fine. You can watch. But if you want to try it and it's okay with your family, give it a whirl. So there were quite a few girls that tried it and did it very well. So much for that.
Mhm.
Yeah, you know, some families, if they were very traditional, they didn't want the girls to do it. So I said, okay, fine. But the boys were required. All right, let's now. So I want to make sure we get the new letters in. All right, we're gonna go to page 50. Okay, that's the next page. And at the top of does everybody have page 50?
Yes.
Okay, great. So this letter is like our friend that when I said it's a sin to have a dot on the left, the letter sin. And here is a sound alike. The letter is called samech, samech. And it looks very different from the sin. In fact, it's pretty easy to get confused with the final mem,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
It's more rounded. It's a samech, and it has the S sound. And when the dot's on the left, like in shalom, it's got a sh sound. Okay, so here's a review of vowels. Let's say this together. Keep the pace with me. So when you just see the letter, it's just, okay, that's it. All right, we're on line 1. We're going to review the samech, the s, with the vowels. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. S, see,
See,
see, say, say,
say,
se, sa,
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 so,
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 do,
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 su,
sus.
sus.
Okay. So what I would suggest is take a look at those vowels. If at this point, if there are any that are still giving you trouble, you should circle them or flag them in some way, write it down, and go back to the page where it's introduced and practice it, okay? So you have all the vowels. Okay,
I have
now,
I have one question, Carol, and
sure,
it's the 3 dots, I think it's called Segal, the 3 dots, the S sound. If
yeah.
that's followed by a yud, does that change the pronunciation of it? Because I've seen a few words where it had those 3 dots, the Segal, and then a yud next to it. Does it change?
It would be like, it would be pronounced more like a, like,
Well, like an
you can't
A?
say, yeah, like say or say, then they would say like say. I
Okay,
haven't seen, it's not that common. We have mostly the 2 dots that say right with the yud. But it'd
Okay.
be say. Okay. Helene, do you want to do line 2?
oh, pay attention. Okay, line 2. Sit, so, su, se, segula, so, sof, su, nesucha,
Great.
nesucha.
Sof means the end. Sof hapasuk is the end of the verse when you're reading Torah.
And
Sof is the end. And then, like in modern Hebrew, they would say, well, sof, finally. Ah, you came,
Oh,
you
so
arrived.
these are the
Sof,
type of
finally.
words I need to use on my family tonight.
Ah,
When they come late.
And-
Okay, good.
and a segula is like a sign, like signs and wonders. A
Segula.
segula is a sign. Segula. Okay. Robin, we take 3?
Segula, segula.
Right. And is da 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 da. Anyone remember what means?
The nation.
Nation. Yisrael Chai. Okay. Let me see. So now we're on line 4. Ella, you want to try line 4?
Sof, maaseh,
Good.
sof, maaseh, Bam, Bamak, Bamach, Bamachashana, Bamachashana, is that correct?
Shava.
Shabbat.
Shava. It's a vet.
It's a what?
A vet.
Z-
A vet, it looks like a sort of like a little house.
Yeah.
The nun is shorter. This is a vet. B'machashava.
B'mahashava Tehila.
Tehila.
Tehila. Tehila.
Okay, very good. Let's see, line 5. Charlene?
Nisu.
It's a nun.
Yeah, I sounded like an N, but maybe, okay.
Okay.
Nitsu, va,
Ka.
Misuka.
Nistuch. Right? Okay, the cha, remember, it's rounded, because it means palm.
Okay,
Ha. Yisucha.
Misuka.
Good.
Merosh,
Hmm.
Mika, Mikadim, no, Mika,
It's a brand
Yeah.
of wine.
I don't drink, sorry.
Oh, okay. It's kosher wine for Friday night.
We
I
don't
care
drink
for it.
alcohol in our house.
3 dots.
pardon
Charlene,
me?
the 3 dots is eh.
Yeah,
Look at it again. So May Roche,
Mikadim,
eh. The 3 dots is eh.
Mikadim,
Kedem.
Mikadim.
Good.
And then Nisuka, Nisuka.
Correct. Okay, so the 3 dots is eh. Mikedem. Kedem wine, not very good. The worst one is the one they used to serve in my synagogue. Kessler, don't drink it. Don't ever buy it. Kessler, Friday night wine, it's awful. There's one that's
Mhm.
called Almog, King David, and that's the best one. That's better than Manischewitz. Okay. Faye, line
Yeah.
6.
Nisi,
Good,
Manos,
good.
Vehu, Nisi, Umanos, Li.
Excellent. I'm telling you, your rabbis better watch out. Carol? Replacements are being created. Carol, line 7.
Okay, Kosi, Manat, Kosi.
Excellent, Mitsuyan. Kos is a cup. Kos yayin, a cup of wine. Kos. Okay. Jackie, you want to try 8?
Okay, Sukkah,
Okay, hold it right there. What's a sukkah?
Sukkah,
Yeah, sukkah. What's the name of the holiday?
Sukkah,
That-
Sukkah, Sukkot.
Okay, so sukkah is the booth, and the plural is sukkot, booths, little dwellings. It's just the plural of that, the plural of that word, sukkah, sukkot. We were supposed to dwell in sukkot, in the little huts, little booths. Keep going. Good job.
Haftik, Korate,
All right, the pay has a point.
okay,
Pay has a dot.
Rate,
Right, hapores. Good.
Sukkot, again,
Yes.
Shalom.
Very, very nice. Excellent. Tov ma'od. My favorite Friday night prayer is one that talks about us being under God's Sukkot Shalom, the sukkah of peace, like we're under the heavenly God's heavenly sukkah, under his canopy. The words, next semester we'll go over it, but in English, it's such a beautiful prayer. It's my favorite one of the Friday nights, talking about a Sukkot Shalom. I love that prayer.
Is that
Okay.
Hashkivenu? Is that the one?
Yes. I love that. Now, on the bottom, we've already had the letter chet. So we have the CH combination, which we do not have in English, right? We say l'chaim. We have this letter, chet. And again, I'll say it again. If you ever hear anybody say Yitzchak, tell them to rethink it. It just it drives me crazy. All right. So now we're going to, we'll see that letter, but we're gonna skip the bottom practice for now because we're gonna see something very special with the letter chet at the end of a word. Okay, so we're gonna move on. Okay, let's see, 49, 50, let's go to page 53. Okay, and by the way, 52 are 4 verses from Lecha Dodi.
Mhm.
And Lecha Dodi also has lots of melodies. It's Lecha Dodi Likrad Kala, that it could be Lecha Dodi Likrad Kala Pinei Shabbat Pinei Shabbat Nekabela. I don't know that one as well, but so there's different melodies. You don't have to be stuck in one melody. If you go to another shul, they have another repertoire of melodies. It's all fine. Okay, on page 53, we have already seen the letter Vav. We've seen it as a vowel with a dot on the top, on my head, with a dot in the middle, on my stomach. And if there's a dot on the bottom, it's E. You can have V. So they're now saying that the letter Vav is a word. When it's attached to something in the beginning, it means and. The Vav at the beginning of a word means and it's attached. So like if I want to say and me, don't forget about me, I say ve'ani. Ani ve'ata, me and you. It's not and separate you, it's and you. So it's a prefix. And we've already seen some other prefixes. And prefixes are attachments to a word. It's like magnetic, and they are together. For example, one of the words I gave you was ba'ahava. When I write to my former Ulpan teacher, Vilma, I write be'ahava, with love. Be means in or with, and I think Helene had asked me about it last week. Be'ahava is a beautiful way to end a letter, or be-shalom, in peace. Okay? So those be and the are prefixes and are attached at the beginning of a word. So we have v'yit kadash, and he will be sanctified, v'yit kadash, v'yamlich, v'yish tabach, v'yit pa'ar, v'yit romam. Those words are all from the
Yes,
Kaddish.
Kaddish, Yiska, yeah.
Kaddish. And line 2 is v'yit naseh, v'yit hadar, v'yit aleh, v'yit halal. Kaddish. V'shirata, and by the way, somebody mentioned that the Kaddish is written in Aramaic. How do you know it's Aramaic and not Hebrew?
Because the
Look at the
rabbi
first
told us
word.
that.
It ends in aleph. The word, when the words end
Ah.
in aleph and not hey, it's Aramaic.
Could you say that
Okay,
again,
so-
Carol? I didn't catch that. Could you say that
When
again?
the words end in an aleph and not in a hey, it's generally Aramaic. Not Arabic, but Aramaic. Aramaic. Which is what they spoke in biblical times, Aramaic. So line 3 says, V'yish I'm sorry, Vishirata, V'nechemata, V'imru, all words from the Mornis Kaddish. And 4 is V'chayim, V'al, V'imru, V'al, V'imru. Okay, so we have, again, this is, Vav is a special letter because now we see that Vav has 3 ways. Okay, it's like a cooking show, you know, when they say, I'm gonna take that carp and I'm gonna make it 3 ways. I'm gonna make it gefilte fish and I'm gonna make it smoked and I'm gonna make it boiled or something else. The 3-way Vav. So Vav, when you see the Vav with dots, it's a vowel. It's a letter Vav, which is a V sound in the middle of a word. And at the beginning, it means and. So it's got a lot of uses, the letter Vav. The vowel means and it's a letter V, the. And then, of course, we have on the bottom, Kaddish, Kaddish. And here it is. And so there's a lot of long words in the Kaddish. So I think we'll leave it for now. Is there anyone who knows the Kaddish by heart and can use now the Hebrew looking at it as a guide, Aline?
Well, okay. On February,
I mean, now,
I
okay.
kind of know it, but I, because the words are long, I will stumble through it. But actually next Saturday, I'm actually going into a synagogue that allows 18 people because it's my mother's 20th anniversary of her passing.
Or yard sign.
So I have an
Yeah.
aliyah, an honorary aliyah, but of course I'll be standing to do the Kaddish and it'll be nice to actually read it. So I'm glad that you have it here as opposed to, you know, faking it. So,
Phonetically, you know, I find a lot of times phonetically, I'll trip over the phonetic
yes, that's exactly
transcription
it.
in
I
English
have
rather
I
than
have
the
from
Hebrew.
the funeral homes always give them out. They give out the little, you know, memorial books. They have and to read it in Hebrew is actually, because it's phonetic, it's not a language. You don't get it. It doesn't click. So to actually read it,
Yeah,
me, it's
because
actually easy.
we're not used to using those words don't mean anything when you look in
Right.
English.
Right.
They're not English words, so it's kind of difficult to read that on the spot,
Yeah,
that transliteration.
exactly.
So it is long. All right, does anyone else know the Kaddish by heart
Kind of.
or
I do.
know
Yeah, I
how to
kind of
read
do
it?
also.
Who's
Yeah,
Carol?
I do too.
And who else? Faye?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, right, we know it. And Charlene? Okay, so all my shul goes will
Basically,
know
yes.
this.
Mhm.
All right, and as I told you, my best friend's husband passed away about a week ago, and when we were at the synagogue, the cemetery, there was a small group, and the rabbi had us do the Mornis Kaddish, and there's a custom that I only learned recently, I wasn't aware of. There's a pile of dirt, and those who want to dig and cover the box, the coffin, you do it with the shovel backwards. You turn it over.
Right.
And you dig in, which is much harder to do. And the idea is you want this to be one thing, not so, you're not going to do it so quickly, you're not so eager to do it, but the other thing is that it's different. This is a different occasion. And so you do it, and you really can only do a smaller amount at a time. Like if you took a shovelful, you know, it would be a lot. So it's like we're reluctant to really, that final thing. And it's very poignant when you get to that. Okay,
Carol, I
And-
just wanted to say, a cousin of mine passed away and the funeral was on Sunday. And we were, those of us who couldn't make it down to New Jersey were watching. And I learned something besides what you just said about turning the shovel over, is that the rabbi mentioned this, that you don't pass the shovel to the next person. You put it back into the pile and let them take it out. And I don't really remember why, but that was that was that was just something I never knew
Yeah. I
before.
think it's the idea that you're not enabling them to do it. This is work. This is something we have to, work. You're not just passing it on. It's different. This is a special kind of shoveling. And so we did that. And
Yeah.
it's a difficult thing when you hear that sound. And I've been seeing, I don't know about you, but I've been seeing from Women's League across the country, so many Shiva announcements, so many from learned people, professors and rabbis and teachers. It's astounding, that when you get that global feeling across the country, you really do, you realize the extent of this terrible disease. Okay, so Carol Fisher knows it, Charlene knows it, Helene knows it. Anybody else? That's 3. Robin,
Faith.
do you know the Kaddish?
Not by heart. I can just kind of
Not by
follow
heart.
along, but not by
Anybody
heart.
else? Okay. All right. So, so Carol, do you know it pretty well?
I couldn't say it totally without looking at the book, so it prompts me, but I can say it pretty fast when we're going along, when I'm following along.
Right, yeah. I mean, you've heard these words, unfortunately, a lot. Do you think it
Yeah.
would be possible for the 3 of you, Helene, Charlene,
Do it.
and Caroline,
Caroli.
to do it together
Oh, wait.
for us, and we'll
Try.
follow, we'll track you. You want to try to do it together, stay together, stay with Helene, do it slowly.
Am I
And
leading
really
it?
try to
No.
read it.
Okay.
You're gonna have 2 sisters with you. It's gonna be a
All 3 of us
trio, a
together. This is
troika.
go- Well, I'm glad because I was going to be practicing it so I don't make a fool of myself at shul next week. Okay.
All right, do
How do you
it
say 1, 2,
slowly,
3?
stay
Okay.
together.
Okay, yeah.
All right, and I'm not going to interrupt.
No, not this one.
So if you
Ready?
make a mistake,
We make a
go
mistake.
on.
Okay, ready? Start.
Ready.
Go.
Yitzchak,
Gadal.
Yitzchak,
Gadash.
Shemay, Rabba, Be'al,
Omor.
Ivra,
You-
Hear you te,
Good. Hirte,
via lich, mal, chute, bia,
Bechai,
chon, u,
Mei,
chon,
Hong,
u,
Yay,
dechol,
Dechol.
dechal,
Is that Bechal or Dechol or
Dechol.
Dechol?
The hall.
Dechol. Dechol.
beit,
Israel.
Israel.
bia,
Ba'agala. Ba'agala. Ubitzman.
Kariv, Viamru,
Amen.
Yehei,
Shmei.
Rabba, Mevara, Leolam,
Amen.
Alme,
Almaya. Okay.
Beishta.
Yispara, Bara, Vishta, Viet, Viet, Paar, Viet,
Eat,
Roman, Viet, Nase,
Adar,
Viet, Hadar, Viet, Haleh, Viet, Halal, Shemay,
May,
Jekudasha,
yeah,
Prairie,
Baruch,
May, who,
oh, Beret, who,
Malam,
Le,
Le,
Leola, Leola,
Leila,
Oh, don't say
Leila,
the one in parentheses. It's just Laela.
Ela,
Go on to Min.
Min, Minkol,
Raha,
Barach,
Iha,
Hata,
let's see,
Visham,
Rata,
Vashirata,
Ta,
Tush,
Tush,
Hata, Bene, Hemata,
Ta,
Da, Amiram,
Miran, Miran,
Alma, Vimru, Amen. Yehe, Shlama, Rabba,
Rabba,
Min,
Min,
Shemaya, Bechaim,
Haim,
Aleinu,
Aleinu,
Bial Kol, Yisrael, V'imru,
Ru,
Amen.
Wow.
Oseh,
Say,
Wow.
Shalom,
Shalom,
Bim,
Bim,
Romav, Hu,
Yaseh,
Yaaseh, Shalom, Aleinu, Vial Kol, Yisrael, V'imru, Amen.
Is a Yofi. Wonderful, really. So in this prayer in the Kaddish, there are quite a few words that have or instead of ah, or instead of ah. All right, it's about 10 to 2. I'm going to go on because I want to finish certain things. We can always come back. Okay, we did 53. Go to 54, and we have a new letter. That was amazing. So just amazing. Now, we had it Sadi. Again, we have no correspondence in English. The letter Sadi is most often shown as a TZ, like in my name, Tzipora. It's a Tz, TZ or TS, but there's no equivalence in English. And we have the word Eretz, Eretz Avat Chachav, Chalav Dvash, Eretz Avat Chalav, Chalav Dvash, milk and honey. So it is only at the end of a word. It is a Tzadi Sofit. Sofit means final, as in the word Eretz, Eretz Yisrael, Eretz. Okay, it can never be used in the beginning of a word. It can never be used in the middle. It's like a final mem or a final fe or a final nun. It's kicked to the end, only at the end. So we have last night, as I said, we had a Tu B'Shvat Seder, and we were celebrating the holiday of trees. And Eitz is tree. And we were celebrating the fruits of the earth and the fruits of the tree. And we had the blessing for the fruits of the earth, Borei Pri Ha'adamah, and that was for vegetables, and for fruits of the tree, Borei Pri Ha'etz. So if you say a blessing on fruit, it ends in Borei Pri Ha'etz. Blessed is the fruit of the tree. If you're having a potato or you're having a carrot, it's Borei Pri Ha'adamah. Adamah is ground, blessing blessed be the fruits of the ground, which makes sense. So eitz is tree, and then we have chametz. I came a couple of years ago, quite a few years ago, I came in a costume dressed like a baker. And I had signs all over me, chametz, do not eat on Passover. And I took a bagel, took a couple of bagels, and I put them on my hand like bracelets. And they dried, and you have to kind of knock them to get them off. And so I was chametz. I was like a baker, like a bread baker. So we have eitz, chametz. So chametz is leavened products, which of course you know. And Passover is coming the end, I think the 25th or something like that, 25th.
27.
27th of March. So start quaking in your boots, ladies.
Mhm.
I change over everything, even if we're gonna do it online. I have 4 sets of dishes, I have 4 sets of pots, 4 sets of silverware, I got 4 sets of everything. So I have all my Passover stuff is in the basement, and it is a terror. And I take everything out of my cabinets, all the regular stuff, the 2 sets of dishes and silverware. Some of the things which are all metal, you can kosher, and the silverware, you can kosher, you can boil it. I boil up some, if I don't have enough of my Passover, if I have a lot of people. It is just wash everything, wash the refrigerator, take that apart, and the stove and the oven.
Hello?
It's just, it's exhausting.
Hello?
It is something, but
It's nice it starts on a Saturday this year, so,
yeah.
you know,
who's there?
people can come and visit, and I'm hoping to have my kids come this year
Yeah.
because it's a Saturday.
Yeah. I think maybe I'll have my daughter, my son, but my Chabadniks, they would not come here because they are living by a higher standard. And also an interesting thing is with Chabadniks, they don't have, they don't wet the matzah. Like they won't make matzah balls except on the last day, on the 8th day of Passover, they'll have, because they just feel that it's gebruch. They only eat gebruch. There's no, you cannot wet the matzah for anything. So they wouldn't have my favorite thing in the world, which is matzah brai. Forget it, no matzah brai. And of course, they wouldn't travel on the Chag. So that's it. So we've gone to them, and they've given me papal dispensation to travel on a holiday to get there for a Seder. So back to our friend Sadi. So line 2 is, again, that "s" at the end. Marilyn, would you like to try line 2?
Sure. Eitz, Hayim, Eitz, Hayim, Hi, Borei, Pari, Ha-Eitz.
There it is. There is the blessing for fruit. Okay, line 3. Susan, would you like to try?
Yeah, Eretz,
Good.
Eretz, Avotenu,
Okay, that means the land of our fathers.
let's see, Arezenu,
Arsenu, our land.
Arzi,
Artsy, good.
Razot.
What?
Very good. That would be the lambs. Ha is the, and the plural of Eretz is aratzot. Ha, aratzot, the lambs. Okay, Faye, line 4.
Okay. Hartza, Alenu.
Alinu.
Right.
Arza alinu, arza alinu, arza alinu, alinu.
Well, Carol,
That's music we do Israeli dance to.
yeah, Carol, I'm going to be leaving, but today is the last beginning class then, right?
Right.
And then,
And this is the last letter. The only other thing to look at is page 60 with the ach ending, like sameach. And then
Okay.
we've done it, all the vowels we had. And that's the only thing, but the final tzadi is actually the last letter, so I kept my promise. We'll
Okay.
see you on the 5th, and I think we have a few ladies joining us. All right,
Okay.
Faye, Zeigazont?
Okay, well, thank you so
You know what
much.
that means?
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
You know what that
Shabbat.
means? Like,
Bye.
that's Yiddish,
Bye.
means be healthy. Bye, Faye. See you next
Thank
week.
you.
And hopefully the new ladies could keep up with our proficiency.
That's right. Okay. No, don't laugh, because there probably will be some switching around, like, there's no test. No one is giving a test, a reading test to see what level. I teach ESL, and when students come in, they take a test to see what level they're on. In this case, there may be students that belong in an intermediate class, or maybe some students think they're advanced beginner, and when they get in and they see your proficiency, they may say, no, I want to go back, like you said, a lot of you, no, I need a beginner class. I need to go for a beginner class. I'm not sure of everything. So you can just go, we've been there. Okay. So we're on line 4, I think. Yep. Okay. Where's Esther? What are the words on line 4?
Arsa, Artsa,
Mm-hmm.
Alinu. Alinu.
Alinu.
Artsa,
Artsa Alinu.
Is
I want you
Alinu a
all to
word?
read.
Is Alinu a
Alinu.
word as opposed to Alenu?
Yes, Artsa, to us, upon us. Our land is upon us. Artsa. Oh, no. Let's go up to the land. Artsa, to the land, Alinu. Artsa, let's go up to the land. To the land, we will go up. Like la'alot. And aliyah means going up.
Right.
Okay, when you make aliyah to Israel, you immigrate. So the verb is la'alot, to go up. And aliyah is you're going up in 2 ways. You're going on to the bima, you go up a few stairs. And it also means spiritually, you're going up, like to the ark. And when you make aliyah, you're going up, even though the land of Israel, Eretz Israel, is south geographically. If somebody immigrates to Israel, it's a big kavod, and they make aliyah. They're going up spiritually to the spiritual homeland. It's nice. There's a lot
Carol-
of nice
So
symbolism.
Carol, does Artsa and Eretz both mean land?
It's from the root land. Artsa means to the land,
To the
and
land.
Alinu is
no,
we are
Eretz.
going up to the land.
But Eretz
Yeah.
means
We're
land
going
also,
up to-
right?
Eretz, but Artsa means to the land.
To the land.
Artsa Alinu, to the land, we will go up. We will go up to the land. And this is what the Chalutzim, the pioneers in the early days, remember they were doing the Hora, and they would sing songs of the land. Artsa Alinu, Artsa Alinu. Very nice. All right. I want you to read line 5 silently. And I want you to tell me where you've heard this line before. Or look it over. That sound familiar? I'll give you a hint. It has something to do with the Torah. No hint? Line 5?
Bereshit is in
What
the
if I
beginning,
say it?
though. Bereshit is in the beginning, right?
Uh-huh. That's right.
In the beginning,
Bereshit.
Blessed.
go on.
What happened in the beginning?
God created the earth,
There.
or
What's Hashemayim? Yismechu Hashemayim, Hashemayim. Hashemayim. Okay, Bereshit, in the beginning. What does bara mean?
That's
Well, what does the third word mean? What's Elohim? Who is Elohim?
It's God. It's another
Okay.
name for God? Yes?
So that's a name for God. Adonai, Elohim. So what verb would go with in the beginning, something God? What did God do? What
Created.
verb would fit?
created.
Created, bara.
Created.
Bara is
Bereshit,
create.
bara, Elohim. In the beginning, created God, or in good English, God created. Et is a word in Hebrew grammar that means a direct object is coming. Created something. Et, we don't translate, but it's a feature of Hebrew grammar. It has to be there when you're writing. Bereshit, bara, Elohim, et. So we still have,
Hashemayim.
in the beginning, God created. Hashemayim. What's Hashemayim?
It must be.
Well, what's the opposite of the earth? The earth and
Heavens, the heavens, the sky, the heavens,
heaven.
the universe.
Okay, Hashemayim is the heavens. What does that little the mean in front of a word?
And
And
And the et. Don't translate the et. Is another direct object coming. Haaretz,
and the land.
The earth.
and the land. So what is the whole translation of that line? Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. What does that whole line say?
in
It
the
is the
beginning,
first.
Thank
in the
God.
beginning, God created
Created the heavens and
the
the
earth.
earth.
And the earth.
Right, and that, ladies, is the very first word of the Torah. That's the first word of the first book of the Torah. So on Simchat Torah, if you go to synagogue and they finish the end, then immediately they have another Torah rolled up because it'll take a long time to roll, and they start with the first parsha, Bereshit, and there it is.
Oh.
Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. Okay, line 6. Ella, line 6.
Lechem min haaretz.
So this is part of a bracha, a blessing.
Let him in up the bread
What are
of
we blessing?
bread.
Fruit of the
Bread.
bread.
All right, so this is not the whole thing. Now continue the rest of the line, and you'll all know what this is. Go ahead, Ella.
Hamotzi, lechem min haaretz.
Wow.
Okay, I gotta show you something. Wait, I gotta show you something. Remember, there was a time when I said I have the challah baking?
Yes.
Let's see. Oh, where's?
And you made
not
it.
Going on to full. I made it, and I made about 3 of them and some little rolls, and this is the end. No, I'm gonna have to try to make some more. Not today. Too late. My son had helped me, and he was so proud of himself. He went home with a challah. He says, I made this challah. It's so good. All right, so we have Hamotzi, who takes out bread from the earth.
Carol, we
I'm not
can't see
digging a
you.
hole. Oh,
Carol, you
all right.
disappeared. There you go.
I disappeared. Okay, oh, now I see Helene. I'm hitting switch. It doesn't want to switch. Okay, I'm not there. You can see my basket of,
Yeah.
Yeah, we,
okay.
Now we see
So,
you.
okay, So hamotzi is the blessing on bread, and 7 is lechem and chametz umatzah. Where are we going to see that? Chametz
Passover.
umatzah,
Over.
Passover.
Passover.
Chametz. Right, so we're going to see
Matzah.
that. Chametz umatzah, the little ones sing it, right? Every time we can have, well, no, this, we can't eat them. You're really not supposed to have matzah during the year, and I don't. You're supposed to save your taste for matzah. I don't even use matzah meal. So the whole month before Passover, especially, you're not supposed to use matzah. But I wait until the Seder, I don't have any matzah, until that night. For the whole year, I wait. And so when I get the matzah and I have it for the whole week, it's the most delicious. I love it. I do not have matzah. Some people have matzah crackers and Tam-Tams and all that stuff. Matzah meal. I just wait. Passover night, I get the first taste of matzah. Okay. Now we have those 8, 9, and 10 is the blessing on bread. Let's say it together slowly. You ready? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Does anybody have a melody for that? I think there's a reform melody.
Motzi lechem, that one.
Min haaretz.
Yeah, how do you do that?
Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give.
What about the first 2 lines? Oh,
You start there and then you say the blessing after. This is kind of an introduction. So,
oh, that's nice.
God for bread, our voices rise as when you're asking me to do that, and then we go, Baruch atah
That's
Adonai
nice.
Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Very nice, Ella, very nice. Right. There was one, I can't remember it. It was from a reform. I can't remember it. I just say it. Okay. Now, all right. So the last of the new things, and then you really have all the vowels and all the main features that this book wants to teach you. The stuff I skipped, we're going to do next semester, because I had written a curriculum and I sent it to Julia and to Ellen and to Rabbi Wellens, and we had a meeting, and we added some Passover stuff because Passover comes so early. So in the beginning of March, actually there was something like, because I think there's one lesson in February with Purim, we won't have a class. So there's like 6 lessons before Passover. So we'll do some of Passover. It's my favorite holiday, and we sing all the songs and I love it. Now, here's another feature, a lovely feature, the last one of the Hebrew language. So we have at the end, at the top of page 60, it says, Aleinu l'shabeach. And somehow or other, everybody knows Aleinu. Even though it's a long prayer, everybody seems to know that one. When people learn something by heart, it seems to be Aleinu, maybe because we do it so much. How many of you know Aleinu? Like you can sort of sing along? Because we do it a lot in shul, right? Aleinu? Okay. Yeah. So Aleinu l'shabeach. Those are the first 2 words of Aleinu. It means it is upon us to praise. Aleinu l'shabeach l'Adon hakol. It is for us to praise the master, Adon, hakol, the master of everything. All right, it is incumbent upon us to praise God. And then Aleinu goes on and it praises God. Now, so people do like fun stuff during Aleinu, the kids in the youth group. Anyway, that word l'shabeach, when you see the letter chet and a vowel, straight line across, it's pronounced ach, like ach the lieber, ach. You don't pronounce, the thing that's different is you do the vowel first and then the letter. Usually when you see in Hebrew, you do the letter and the vowel under it, or the vowel on top of it, or the vowel next to it. But this is an anomaly. In this case, if that chet appears with an ah vowel at the end of a word, you say the ah and then the ach, like the word l'shabeach. Okay? So that is the different thing. So let's see if we can get through this page, which would be great. Who hasn't, Robin, can you do the first line?
Leinu l'shabeach le'adon hakol.
Oh, I'm sorry, page 60. Oh, she's
Oh, I'm sorry.
she's
Page
reading the
60.
print already. 60.
Oh,
So that's
okay.
where they present the ach combination.
Chala, Hana, Nahal, Bahar.
Good. They're trying to show some letters that look alike. Chala, Nachal, Chala, Hana. All right, to see that nun there. And then again a nun, Nachal, and Bahar. So they're bringing back that chet. And when we see that ah with the chet, it's going to be ach. Okay. Charlene, can you do line 2?
Lishabak.
Look at carefully. Le,
I had a cat,
sha.
sorry. Lishabak.
What's the vowel, the 2 dots under the bet?
A.
Okay, now try it again.
Lishabak.
What's the new sound?
Oh, yes.
Ah. Yes.
I have trouble with that.
Lishabeach. Okay, so when you see that chet,
Excuse me.
I think you're on the wrong, line 2?
Yeah.
Line 2, Charlene, line 2. So it's Lishabeach, right.
Is this always at the end when they use that?
Only, yes, Susan, only at the end. It can
Okay.
only be at the end. Good question. So line 2 has Lishabeach.
Beach. Kiak.
Koach.
Koach.
See the dot? Maybe it's right. Koach. Koach means strength.
No dot.
You know, people
Mine
say
doesn't have a
Yasher
dot.
Koach. I know, you said that your copy is a little
Oh, this
fuzzy.
is a
Okay, keep
horrible
going.
copy.
Oh.
Ham a niach. Niach.
Right, Hameniach. Very good.
Okay. Ume niach. And then
Excellent.
Noak. No.
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 Noach.
Ach.
Noach.
Noach. Who was Noach?
Noah.
Remember the guy with the flood?
Noah.
Noach?
Noah.
Noah. Okay. So on line 3, they're saying that you can spell this Lishabeach, or we have Le, Sha, Be, and now we have a silent letter with an ah, and it ends with a ch. That's still going to be ach. Look at them again. Lishabeach. Those are both pronounced Lishabeach because the aleph in the second one has no sound. So we have an ah, and the final letter is ach. The final letter is ch, Lishabeach. L'shabeach. Okay, Jackie? Line 4.
Okay. Kiha.
Okay, look, there's a dot. It may not show up on your copies. There's a dot above the kaf. So it's a k and an o. We blend
Oh.
that.
Koa.
Koach.
Koa. And then koa.
Right. And then again,
Koa. Koa.
koach.
I have to go.
When you read,
I have to leave.
okay. Okay, Lehitraot.
Bye, Helene.
Bye, Helene. See you next week. And I expect you guys to be very nice to the newcomers. Be gentle with them. All right, koach. When you go to services and you've read, you've had an Aliyah or you've read Torah or Haftorah, and you come out and you're walking down, you feel really good, and people are shaking your hand, and they say to you, Yasher Koach.
Yashar Koach.
Yasher Koach. It's really Yasher Koach. May there be strength to you. Yasher Koach. You have strength. So that's what they say. Okay, so let me see. Aminiach, Noach. Okay. Let's see. Marilyn, what is on line 8, those 2 words?
Aleinu l'shabeach.
All right. Okay. Ella, what's on line 9?
Kol Adonai Bakoach.
Good. Okay, Robin, what's 10?
Ameniach le'amo.
Very good. Esther, what's 11?
Maniac. Dusha.
Right. Let's try to get that. You see the note on the bottom, it says, the het, the ah under it, when it comes at the end of a word is
Oh,
pronounced
so
like ach in
okay.
German or Yiddish. Ach. Okay. Umeniach bikdusha.
Big
Mm-hmm.
Dushak.
Dusha. Okay, Carol, what about line 12?
L'shabeach koach hamenuach
Hame.
hameniach
Back it up. Hame.
hameniach
Yeah.
hameniach umeniach noach.
No.
Excellent. Okay. And the last one, Charlene?
Hey, I get a question.
Niach.
I get a question about my line 11. Isn't that last
Yeah.
letter in the last word, isn't that an H? That's not a CH.
Big Dusha.
Big Dushak.
That's a hay. That's a
Yeah,
hay.
it's not a
Mhm.
ka.
It's a plain hay.
Yeah.
Big
Okay.
Dusha, and it is silent.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. I was mispronouncing.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Umeniach Big Dusha. Yep. Okay, so there's that guy with the ark again. And what's his name? Charlene?
Noach.
Noach. Okay, so I have the no, there's a dot on the no, and I know you have a bad copy. No, ach. Good.
Ish.
Very good.
Sadiq.
Correct. Noach, Ish, Tzaddik. Noach is a righteous man. And it says Noach in the Torah, Noach, Ish, Tzaddik, Bidorotav, in his generation. And so sometimes we've had a discussion in a synagogue and they say, well, how good was he? If the whole generation was horrible that occasioned the flood, he was like the best of the bad bunch. Maybe he was the best, maybe compared to a real tzaddik, he wasn't as hot. But in the company he was keeping, he was pretty good. So he was allowed to survive the flood. Okay, and then on 61 is Aleinu. Now, if you take a look at page 67, this is like graduation time. Okay, there's two things that are interesting on page 67. And I didn't go further than this because the rest is Friday night service, which we're gonna do next semester and take it easy and sing and listen. All right, what is the song on page 66?
Adon
What's the title? Adon
Olam.
Olam. Okay, our cantor always changes the melody according to what holiday is coming up or whatever. So, are you familiar with Adon Olam? Anybody?
Yes.
Yes. All right. Right. So when I was living in the Bronx and I started to go to Hebrew school, at the end of the service, the kids would come up front and then we'd get a little bit of we'd get honey cake or sponge cake and a little tiny cup of real wine. So we looked forward to the end, even if the beginning was boring of the service, but at the end we could come up and we could sing Adon Olam. So that's something that stays with you. So the melody is an old-fashioned one. The first melody for Adon Olam I learned was this one. Adon Olam Asher Malach. And thank goodness it was nice and slow. I could follow it then. How many, raise your hand if you know that melody? Da 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 dum, da 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 dum. Carol, you never heard that one?
Yeah, I have. It's not the one we do
Yes.
in our temple, but I
know. They do Adon Olam Asher. Or there's all many. What's the melody they use in your shul? Carol.
Adon Olam Asher Malach B'Terem Chol Yitzir
Da, da,
Nikra.
da, 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 da. Okay, so there's lots of melodies. Do you know it? Do you all know it well enough to be able to follow it?
Yes.
You
Yeah.
think? There's a lot of repetition. Should we try it?
Sure.
Okay,
Why not?
let's try it. And let's do it with, what melody do you prefer? Do you want the old da 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 dum, or do you want da 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 dum, da 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 dum? Who wants the old one? Adon Olam. You want, oh, you like the old one. Okay, then let's do the old one because it's nice and slow. Let's take it real slow. All right, I haven't taught you this before, but we'll go real slow. Get your pointers out and follow the bouncing ball. Let's see if you can really, all right, we'll just da 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 da. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, together, right? Adon, with me. Adon Olam Asher Malach B'Terem Kol Yitzir Nivra. Line 2. Ve'et Nasa V'Chefto Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nivra V'Acharei Ichlot HaKol Levado Yimlo Nora Vehu Haya Vehu Odeh Vehu Yihiyeh V'Tivara Vehu Echad V'Ein Sheni Mamshil Lo Lahachbira Bali Reshit Lily,
Lovely.
Hello, Haoz, Mizra, Vehu Eli, Vechai Goali, Vitzur Kevli, Ve'et Zara, Vehu Nisi, Anosli, Menat Kosi, Heka, Yado, Avkid Ruchi, Ve'et Ishan, Ve'aira, Ve'im Ruhi, Gaviyati, Adonai Li, Lo Ira. Now that's a mouthful, so that'll be your homework, is to practice, whether you go to shul or you go streaming. Marshall is on live streaming now, nobody's allowed in. Now, there was something that was in another book, when you turned it upside down, it looked like a wine cup, but not like this. But there was a book that I had, and if you turned the page upside down, I showed that to the rabbi once in a prayer book that I had. He said, never saw that before. Okay, so we have all the letters. Now, they say there are 22 letters, but they lie, because that doesn't allow for the letters with a dagesh, with a dot, and the final ones. So here is the whole thing. And Debbie Friedman has an alphabet song, and it goes something like this. So look at the letters. Aleph, bet, vet, aleph, bet, vet. Notice there's no vet here, right? Gimel, Dalet, hey, Gimel, Dalet, hey, Vav, Zayin, Chet, Tet, Vav, Zayin, Chet, Tet, Yud, Kav, Chav, Lamed, Mem, Nun, Samich, Ayin, Pei, Fei, Sadi, Kuf, Resh, Sadi, Kuf, Resh, Shin, Sin, Ta, Ba-da-da-da-dam, Bum, bum. So if now I have to find, I think I have an old cassette with Debbie Friedman singing the I think she created the Aleph Bet song, that it's really cute. I'm going to do it one more time, and I want you to follow. All right, if you want to sing with, you can sing with, but see, you can follow. Here we go. Aleph Bet vet, Aleph Bet vet, Gimel, Dalet, hey. Repeat. Gimel, Dalet, hey. Vav, Zayin, Chet, Tet. Vav, Zayin, Chet, Tet. Yud, Kav, Chav. Yud, Kav, Chav. Lamed, Mem, Nun, Samech. Lamed, Mem, Nun, Samech. Ayin, Pei, Fei. Ayin, Pei, Fei. Sadi, Kuf, Resh. Sadi, Kuf, Resh. Shin, Sin, Tav. And that, my friends, is a whole Aleph Bet, which you did. Hooray! Bravo, Yasher Koach, Yasher Koach. You did it. I promised I'd give you the alphabet, and I did all the vowels, all the letters, and all the finals. Now, I have about a minute. I'm gonna just ask you a couple of questions. Let's see if you can do this out of your head. can you tell me, when a bet has no dot, what do you call it? Or what does it sound like? When a bet has no dot?
Vav,
V.
V,
Ah,
Right, it's a vet.
that.
Bet and a vet.
vet.
Okay, when a cuff, the one that looks like the palm, when a cuff has no dot, what does that sound like?
CH.
Cough and a chaf, right. Okay. When the letter we just learned, the chet, has a vowel, straight line across under it at the end, how do you pronounce that?
Ah,
Chet?
Ah.
Oi, ach. Okay, can you tell me two silent letters in Hebrew, in the Hebrew alphabet?
Aleph.
You can look at the
Ayin.
list.
I
And Aleph.
Ayin,
And
and,
Aleph.
Aleph,
all right, and what does a hey sound like at the end of a word?
Silent. It's-
Silent. Okay. All right. Tell me a pair of letters that has a final letter.
N and M.
Okay, a nun and a final nun and a mem and a final mem.
Final mem.
Very good. All right. If a shin has a dot on the left, what do you call the one that has a dot on the right? Remember, it's a sin.
Sin.
Oops.
Oh, it's
It's a something to have a dot on the left. It's a
Sin.
no. It's a sin. It's a sin to have a dot on the left, all right? Let me see, anything else? Okay. Does a tzadi have a final letter?
yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, like in eretz and eitz and chametz. Okay. All right, and if a pay has no dot, what do you call it?
Faye.
Okay.
Faye.
Faye, one of our classmates, Faye. Okay, I think you did great. Now let's look at the alphabet and let's just say the letters. We'll end like that. Let's just look at the ones on the right. Forget the ones on the left. Let's just say the ones, the names. Okay, I tried not to dwell on that too much, but do you know the names of the letters now or not?
Not all of them.
Not all of them, no.
Not all of them. Okay. All right, just give me the sounds. What's the sound of Aleph?
Silent.
Very good. How about a bet?
B.
B. Give me the sound. B. Gimel.
Good.
Dalet.
D.
D. Hey at the beginning of a word. Huh. And like an H. The. Oops. Vav. Okay. Gave it away. Zion. Z, like a buzzing sound. Chet. Remember my favorite word, Yitzchak. What about the tet? What does that sound like?
Ch.
Tet? T. How about the little yud? What does that sound like?
Yeah.
Yeah, like a Y. Kaf? Like a K. Lamed?
L.
Mem?
M.
Mm. Nun?
Nun.
Samech?
S.
Like an S, good. Ayin?
Silent.
Silent. Pay?
E.
Huh. Mhm. Like pre. All right, Tzadi?
S.
Kuf?
Ah.
Good. Reish?
R.
Shin? Tav?
Yeah.
All right, all the Hebrew teachers' favorite word. You know what the Hebrew teacher's favorite word is? Sheket. You know what sheket means?
Quiet.
When you come into a 7th grade class after school at 4 o'clock. Sheket Yeladim, quiet. You did great. I mean, this has been the most remarkable journey for me. And I hope you've learned a thing or two along the way. And to be continued, February 5th, I'm going to be writing a welcome letter to everybody. And in that letter, I'm going to outline actually, or maybe even send you a copy of the curriculum, the proposed curriculum. And if there's anything in particular you would like to add to it, it's our class. So that, I mean, we're going to be like a mirror of the other advanced beginner. However, each class has their own personality. And if there's something that you wanted me to teach you, any requests, send it to me and I'll add it to the curriculum. Okay? So we can do that. But I will send you the my proposed curriculum and what we'll do in the Haggadah. So I would say that at least in the beginning, maybe the last class, that would give us 5 classes, maybe the last class in February or sometime in February, we're going to start with the Haggadah. And get your favorite Haggadah out, one which is easy to read, which is nice big letters. Now, did anybody go to that site, Ella? You were the one that showed us that. I didn't get to it yet. A karaoke rabbi.
Yes, Helene had found, I forgot which prayer, but with that. And then I went to that site and it's good because it's slow and you can stop and you know, it's a good site to
Good.
kind of look at and see the prayers.
Very good. Okay, so is I think maybe I didn't. I'll send you a reference to a book that somebody sent us a book. I thought I had sent you a reference to a book that has nice big letters and it has a table of contents and you can just click on the page that you want. And it has like it goes across, someone's saying the words and it goes across. I'll send it to you if I didn't send it already. So have a wonderful Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom.
And
Shabbat
you can say the
Shalom.
prayer on the
Thank you.
wine. And say the prayer on the wine and the challah, and I'll think of you as I eat my
Take
challah
care.
tonight.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Take care. Be well. See you next Friday. And Mazal Tov, you
Oh,
graduated.
Carol, are you going to send us a new Zoom
Flip
link
your
or is it going to
tassel.
be the same one?
I think it's the same. I'm gonna check. I think it's the same one.
Okay.
I think it
Yeah,
is.
and it'll be
Julia
every
sent one.
week.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, I believe it's the same one. And we'll do it every week for an hour. And if we want to do it for an hour and a half, but now that we're starting out with every week, we'll be good. And so we can do it for an hour. And if we go over a little bit, they're allowing us the extra time, so we won't get cut off. All right, if we go for an hour and 5 minutes or something like that, we'll be fine. And we'll start with a little review and see where the other students are so they can get their feet wet and see if they belong here or they belong in the beginning or intermediate, and we'll make adjustments. So we'll go back over some of the prayers and we'll go back over our old friend Shalom Aleichem and we'll sing that and we'll go over, if you want to study anything, I would say 2 things that are really important is Adon Olam and V'ahavta, the Shema and V'ahavta. Because those are prayers that you really, basic that we need to really know. So we'll go over Shalom Aleichem and Shema and V'ahavta, which was on page 49. And Adon Olam, well, we'll go over all the letters, and Adon Olam is page 66. But I'll do a little easy introduction. We'll go over some basic stuff, okay? And for Robin's sake, I'm going to send my last mystery message. She's a champion. Okay. All right, ladies. Have a good one. Have a wonderful
Shabbat
weekend and a
shalom.
great
Shalom.
weekend.
Shabbat
See you on
Shalom,
Friday.
everybody.